On this week's how-to video, I'm going to do something that's very timely, which is how to survive the holiday season. Now, as much as this can be a time of year that's full of joy and presents and celebration and drinking, it's also a time full of high stress for a lot of couples. So there are a few important things that you need to know that's going to help you survive through to the other end. Now, the first one is compromise, compromise, compromise. By the end of the year, everyone's tired, there might have been a lot of arguments, and we tend to get stuck in our ways. Then an issue comes up about whose place we're going to for Christmas, what we're doing, who gets to go out and who has to stay at home and babysit the kids. All these different things, and we tend to lose the art of compromising, and it becomes, well, you did this, so I'm going to do that. That is not a compromise. You did this that time, so I'm going to do this time. It's more about looking at each situation and working out why, first of all, something is important to that person. Is it because they're just being in a bit of a bratty mood and they want their way? Is it something that means something to them? Is this tied to something deeper? If you're not going to see what they see, are you not considering and thinking about them? I know it sounds exhausting, but compromises are never necessarily surface level. There's a lot of things that are going on underneath. So it's important to explore those, but then try come up with a solution where you're partially both happy. Making one person 100% happy means that someone's going to give in to that person. But it's really about looking at, is there something that you can do where you both kind of feel satisfactory? If you can get to that level, then there's not going to be things that follow on. If it's a matter of one person giving in to the other, then guess what's going to happen when that one person gives in? Next time, it's going to turn into an argument of, well, last time I gave in to what you wanted. Now this time, I want you to do what I want to do. Doesn't work. So compromise, compromise, compromise. Okay, number 2, plan ahead. Whether that is Christmas, holidays, drinks, parties with friends, the more you can get things planned in ahead of time, the less stress will actually occur. Then you can organize things like babysitters if need be, or making a plan with your partner who drinks, who drives, looking at things in the calendar so that they don't necessarily clash. I know it's not always easy to plan ahead, but it will save you a lot of stress when you really hit the middle of silly season. The problem is that silly seasons starts to cause so much stress in general. It's busier on the roads, there's more traffic, people are more stressed, people are running around. Trying to plan and organizing things in that period can feel absolutely crazy and chaotic. So the more things that you can get planned ahead of time, the less stress it's going to be. Number 3, sneak in some you time on holidays and some together time. So holidays, I mean the Christmas holiday period. This isn't necessarily going to be easy, especially if you have kids that are home from school holidays or home on school holidays. So with you time, it might be something really simple like taking a bath, shutting the door, and not having anyone speak to you for an hour, or going for a walk, or going and having a coffee on your own. Just something to give yourself a little bit of a break and a little bit of a breather. But at the same time, it's really important to connect with your partner. That might mean sneaking out for a quick dinner and having someone else look after the kids that night, or just saying to some friends, you know what, we've had a lot of celebratory nights out and we've had a lot of Christmas parties, we just need this night to ourselves. Or even saying to family, we just need a night together. Make sure that you can sneak in just a little bit of you time, and together time. Sometimes it might mean scheduling that after the silly season. You might be able to sneak in a weekend away or go on a date night. But if you can't sneak in that time during the silly season, having that period of time to look forward to when you're in that period can be really useful as well. You might have lots of interstate visitors and friends and family staying with you. Being able to know that, you know what, as soon as Christmas and New Year's is over, we're going to have our date night, or we're going to have our time, might be something that you need just to keep your mind at ease. Now, number 4, family can influence arguments. It's really important to be aware of this. We all have interesting family backgrounds. No family is without their skeletons in the closet and somebody that stresses them out and family arguments. Now, all of that behind the scenes can put a lot of pressure on someone. Now, when you have 2 people combining together, there might be 2 families behind those 2 people causing some conflict. Now, you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware that there is certain pressures with family. As much as I'm a big family person and I love my family, there are certain pressures and things that can go on that can make you then take that out on your partner and snap at them. So it's really important to be aware of it. If you do have some conflict with family, leave it with your family, discuss it with your partner, but don't take it out on them. Now, number 5, what are you really fighting about? This is a question you need to ask yourself if you do get into one of those big arguments where you're yelling about things that don't actually really make sense. When we look at arguments, it's like an iceberg. There might be the things that are going on the surface and those deeper things underneath. Now, it could be something, going back to the beginning points, like not feeling like you made a compromise out of a right position and you just gave in to the other person, that you're not feeling thought of and considered. It's really important just to stop and take a moment and realize that there can be a lot of pressure at this time of year. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of financial stress, there's going back to having the family conflict. You might end up in an argument that is nothing about what the actual argument is and something else that's going on in your life or your relationship. Take a moment to step back and ask yourself, don't ask your partner, ask yourself, what is it that you're really fighting about? You may want to have that dialogue with your partner, but make sure that you've had the conversation with them before you get into the argument. It might be along the lines of, hey, I saw this video on how to survive the silly season. One of the points Dr. Nikki suggests is when you're having an argument to ask what is it that you're really fighting about. Under those circumstances, when you are having an argument, you can say, well, remember that advice that Dr. Nikki gave? What are we really fighting about? I wouldn't suggest mid-argument turning to your partner and saying, what is it that we're really fighting about? It's important to really step back from the argument, look into yourself and look a little deeper as to what you might be holding on to. Now, I hope that all helps and I wish everybody a happy silly season. It can be a lot of fun, but there can be a lot of chaos and a lot of turmoil. So I hope you survive it sanely and I hope you survive it still in love and intact on the other side. Now, make sure you head over to my website and sign up to my newsletter because I am doing a lot of giveaways these days, and especially with the silly season, there's some fun things that you and your partner might be able to try either in the silly season or maybe afterwards when you get some more time. Okay, bye.